So, how is everything going with you all? Huh? How are you swimming in the ocean of nectar? Huh? And who is drowning? Very good. So, we had done the preface and introduction, and now we are beginning the Nectar of Devotion from the first chapter. Today we will cover the entire first chapter, and just a part of second chapter, which I did not inform you yesterday because I was not sure about that, so I thought you just study the first chapter. And up to which page number I asked you to study? 10. But the chapter goes on till 17. 17 or 18? Anyway, whatever it is. I asked you to study for up to 10th page because we will cover only up to that much of the first chapter. The rest of it will not be relevant to your Bhakti Shastri course, that's why. But anyway, in course of our discussion, we will clarify that. So, the characteristic of pure devotional service is the title of this chapter. Now, how many of you remember the definition of pure devotional service? How many of you know? Please raise your hands. Okay. I can see that some are so busy with their books that can't raise their hands. Okay. So the definition of pure devotional service, did we cover it earlier? Yes, we did. On the first, in the preface only, we covered that. Atul Krishna Prabhu, did we cover that on the preface?
Definition we did yesterday.
Definition we did yesterday. Okay. Yeah. So definition of pure devotional service, how many hands? Yeah. Maybe you can tell us. What's the definition of pure devotional service?
Is always engaged in Krishna's service favorably and constantly.
Yes. Very good.
Without fruitive activities or philosophy, jnana.
Right, very good, yeah, very right. So we covered that yesterday. So there is a specific verse, shloka on that, about that, the definition. How many of you know that shloka? Okay, you can tell us. Very good, very good. Now, Anna Bhilashita Shunnam. Anya means other. Abhilashita, Abhilash means desire. Shunnam means devoid of. Hare Krishna. Today is the second time I saw you coming late in the class. Why are you late? Yeah. Huh? Is this the first time? Anyway, why are you late? Don't be late in the class. Rather try to come 5 minutes before than 20 minutes after. So, I think attendance is one of the aspects of Bhakti Shastra.
Keeping track of that, Maharaj, we're noting everybody's attendance and we give a mark for that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Punctuality is a very important thing, especially in ISKCON. It has to be emphasized. Like, Anna Bhilashita Shunnam. Shunnam means free from. Shunya actually, the Sanskrit word Shunya means zero. So the Shunya literally means without, devoid of. Anna Bhilashitam, free from any other desire. Any other desire means any other desire besides Krishna consciousness, Krishna service. And this desire is devoid of or free from the coverings. What are the two coverings to devotional service? Jnana and karma. Jnana means philosophical speculation or just intellectual pursuit. Jnana and karma, there are two aspects: gross existence and subtle existence. Gross involvement, meaning the body's involvement, is in karma. Subtle body's involvement, gross body's involvement is karma. Subtle body's involvement is jnana. So that means abritam. These are actually two coverings of the soul. The soul has two coverings, two material coverings. One is the subtle body's covering and the other is the gross body's covering. So when the soul is free from these two coverings, that means the soul is in the pure state. And it is in that pure state that the pure spirit soul can render pure devotional service. Now, pure devotional service is rendered by the pure spirit soul. So that is the pure devotional service. As long as we are in the gross bodily platform, we'll have a tendency for sense gratification. When we are in the subtle bodily platform, we'll have a tendency for liberation. So pure devotional service means free from the desire for sense gratification and free from the desire for liberation. And at that stage, pure devotional service indicates, what does pure devotional service mean? Pure devotional service means just rendering service unto Krishna just for the sake of it. Just for the sake of Krishna's pleasure. There is no other desire. So, now, definition of pure devotional service we understood. Now it comes to characteristics of pure devotional service. So in this way we can see Nectar of Devotion is dealing only with pure devotional service. Nectar of Devotion doesn't have any business with mixed devotional service. Mixed devotional service means devotion mixed with karma, devotional service mixed with jnana. Those devotional service, mixed devotional services are known as Karma Mishra Bhakti and Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Or it can also be identified as Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Just like Bhagavad Gita is dealing not with pure devotional service. Bhagavad Gita is predominantly dealing with Karma Yoga. And at the end only it is coming to pure devotional service. What is the definition of pure devotional service according to Bhagavad Gita? Where does pure devotional service begin? That is there, right? But Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Sarva Dharman. Here the dharma is not indicating Christianity, Islamism, Judaism and so forth. Not these dharmas. Here they are indicating the dharma of the body, dharma of the soul, mind, dharma of the gross body, dharma of the subtle body. Those dharmas are varnashram dharma. Those dharmas that is indicated are different other branches of spiritual activities that are leading to either fruitive activities or liberation. But here Krishna is saying, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam braja. Mam ekam, surrender only unto me. That mam ekam is actually indicating the beginning of pure devotional service. Only Krishna, nobody else, no one else, nothing else. Only Krishna's pleasure. Surrender unto Krishna. That's the beginning. But Srimad Bhagavatam is dealing with pure devotional service. So where Bhagavad Gita ends, Srimad Bhagavatam begins. What is the beginning verse of Srimad Bhagavatam? Janmadasya, that's, mind you, it's an invocation. Very good. See, do you see the link now? Dharma prajhita kaitava atra. Prajhita means giving up. Giving up completely. Prajhita. Kaitava means cheating. And Parama Nirmat Saranam Satam. That Parama Nirmat Saranam. Nirmat Sar means free from envy. So when the heart becomes completely free from envy, that means the heart has become purified. What are the contaminations of the heart? Lust, greed, anger, illusion, pride and envy. So when it is free from envy means all other five also has been washed away. So when the heart has become completely purified. Heart has become purified means the soul has become purified. When we say heart, and it actually indicates soul. Why? Because the soul is situated in the heart. So purified heart can only enter into this region. Parama Nirmat Saranam Satam Vedam Vastavam Atra Vastu. Then only one can understand this. Vedyam means understand. Vastavam Atra Vastu. This real substance. Who is the real substance? Krishna. One can understand Krishna properly only when one's heart has become completely purified. So, did you all study this chapter carefully up to page 10? Yeah? Very good. So I'll just briefly discuss what is the beginning. At the beginning is what this chapter is describing. Kapil Dev's instruction. And what is Kapil Dev saying? Kapil Dev telling his mother that he is actually defining pure devotional service. What is pure devotional service? Pure devotional service is free from any desire for liberation. Even if the liberation is offered, a devotee doesn't want to take that. Diyamanam nagrinhanti bina mat sevanam jana. Diyamanam means if offered. Even if liberation, well, how many types of liberations are there? Very good, 5 types of liberation. Although in this chapter it hasn't been discussed, but out of these 5, how many are positive and how many are negative? 4 are positive liberation. And 1 is negative. A devotee will never want that liberation. Which one is that? Sajujya Mukti, merging in the bodily effulgence of the Lord. Brahma Jyoti, Brahma Sajujya. There are 2 types of Sajujya actually, Brahma Sajujya and Paramatma Sajujya. And Paramatma Sajujya is even worse than Brahma Sajujya. So, devotee is, so what to speak of Sajujya Mukti? But there are 4 types of positive liberation, Vaikuntha liberation. These 4 types of liberation elevates one to Vaikuntha. Those are sadupya, have the similar feature as that of the Lord. Samipya, to be close to the Lord. Salakya, to be in the same planet with the Lord. And Shashti, having the same opulence as the Lord. Now there is nothing wrong in those. As a matter of fact, it's important to note here, the other four sampradayas actually are aspiring for these four types of liberation. It's only the Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's line, that rejects that.
Achieving Vrindavan is not considered to be one of those.
No. Because in Vrindavan is these four liberations are Vaikuntha liberations. But Vrindavan is beyond that. And one can enter into Vrindavan only when one is completely free from even the desire for liberation. As long as one has desire for liberation, like Saruppa, Samippa, Salakyanma, Shashti, he won't be able to go to Vrindavan. He'll get stuck in Vaikuntha. Yes?
In Tulsi Aarti we are singing that it was tell us that there might be service either in Golok or to get the residence in Vrindavan.
Yeah.
So that is...
No, you're not. You're asking Sakhir Anugata Kare. Just make me a follower of the Sakhis. Radha Krishna Seva Pavo. Asking for not for liberation, asking for service. Liberation has certain selfish motivation. Like I will become liberated. But a pure devotion is wherever you want me to go, I'll go there. If you want me to go to hell, I'll go to hell. Even in hell, if there is service to be rendered, I'll go to hell. So that attitude is synonymous to pure devotional service. Vilas Kunja Diyavas, where is that? Vilas Kunja? You are not asking for Vaikuntha liberation, Saruppa Samippa. You are asking that give me a residence in a grove where Radha Krishna is residing. Is there a desire for liberation? That grove can very well be here. If in this grove, in this forest bower, in that garden, if Krishna is there, I would be happy to be there.
So mood is to be with Krishna for the sake of service, not
just for the sake of service. Yeah. Just to serve Krishna. Because Krishna is there in the grove, let me reside in that grove. I don't care. I don't desire to live in a palace. What to speak of Vaikuntha? I don't even want to live in a palace.
One of the liberation is to get the association with Samipya.
To be close to the Lord.
So in this also you are praying that I can take your darshan all the time.
Is he saying that? He's saying, can I get the darshan or I can serve you all the time? Nayane heribo sada jugal rupa rashi. I'll see with my eyes will all constantly see the transcendental beauty of the transcendental couple. Where is the thing? Do you see the thing, difference? Is there any desire for liberation? It's all, you see, liberation, they are not really praying like that. When they're desiring for these four types of liberation, their attitude is there to be with the Lord in the spiritual sky, free from all this material.
More emphasis of getting freedom from all these things, not on...
Right. Now this you can see, Vilas Kunja, right? And this can very well be on this planet. They are not saying only in Vrindavan Vilas Kunja. Saying Vilas Kunja, wherever Radha Krishna is, I just want to be there. Now you can see, like, liberation has a tendency to get out of this material nature. Whereas this is not actually, for the sake of liberation, he is not praying. This prayer is for the sake of service. Yes.
In Shishastakam, Ayinanda Tanunja Tinkaram, Krishna says, please pick me up, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please pick me up from this ocean of birth and death.
Yeah.
And place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
Right.
So I always wondered, sounds to me definitely like a prayer for liberation. So, can you comment maybe?
Yeah, well, that is there. That is there, that at that stage, that make me a speck of dust at your lotus feet. It can be synonymous to liberation, but look at the thing afterwards, the prayers afterwards. Ashlishya Padaratan.
So if that's coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is that desire okay for the devotees?
Yeah, sure, that is naturally desirable. Make me a speck of dust at your lotus feet. So that desire is there, to be close to the Lord, to be able to serve the Lord. But you can see the predominating mood behind that prayer is not liberation. Liberation is for my sake. Whereas devotional service is for Krishna's sake. That is the difference. Yes?
Why Paramatma's Saikya is imposed than Brahma?
Because in Brahma Sajujya one feels that he has become Brahma Jyoti and cause of everything. But Paramatma Sajujya, he thinks that he has become Paramatma. That's very dangerous. It's like I have become God. Yes.
They also worship Radha Krishna influence, Krishna influential love. Ballavacharya, Nimbakaracharya, they worship Radha Krishna. So they will go to
Well, that is the thing, you see, first of all, Ballavacharya actually got it all from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ballavacharya was initiated by Gadadhar Pandit. So Ballavacharya originally was in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. But unfortunately Ballavacharya's followers afterwards severed that relationship. Most probably because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the way Ballavacharya has been chastised by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a very sweet relationship with him. And he could chastise, but these people could not, Ballavacharya's followers could not digest that. Therefore, they severed that connection with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they started to call Ballavacharya as Mahaprabhu. So that is with Ballavacharya. Nimbarkacharya, I do not know how far their original idea was to serve Radha Krishna, or they got it from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu afterwards and introduced it in their culture.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought they appreciated Radharani, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought this mentality from Nimbarkacharya.
Well, now we have to understand who is Krishna and who is not. Right? So this is the problem, Anyway, the thing is, at least we know one thing, that if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not come, Radharani's identity wouldn't have been revealed. The question is, where did you get, Ballava Sampradaya, where did you get this understanding of Radha Krishna's pastimes? Whereas in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's thing is very systematically analyzed. Radha and Krishna himself came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? They all have been very, very clearly explained. I don't know whether there is any such clear indication in Ballava Sampradaya, in Nimbarka Sampradaya. Yes?
In the Shastram, the 5th verse says that I want to serve life after life. He's ready to die. But in the next one, he's telling that higher as we go, it's Shastra is taking us higher consciousness. So then why he's praying that you deliver me from the...
Deliver me, so, yeah, life after life, that is the third verse. No, the third verse is, fourth verse. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitangva jagadisha kamai mamo janmani janmani share bhavatat bhakti rahetu ketai. Life after life you offer me pure devotional service. So then he is considering his situation. I am fallen in this dangerous ocean of material existence. But please keep me, place me at your lotus feet as a speck of dust. So, anyway, that is how Mahaprabhu presented that, that is the order that he put. So, but we have to see that the underlying mood all along, what is the mood? The first of all, he is pointing out the importance of the holy name. Then how the holy name, what the holy name is, the potency of the holy name, how to chant the holy name, right? And to be committed to the holy name. And then he is coming to, please deliver me from this dangerous ocean of material nature.
Often I find myself when I'm praying to deities like, oh Krishna, help me to relieve from last anger or to conquer my mind, but maybe it's better just, oh Krishna, let I serve you. It is like what it is maybe wrong to pray like this, or I should just pray Krishna.
You see, at an initial stage you may desire for liberation. That is alright. Prabhupada said also that is good to desire for liberation. But point is, don't get stuck in liberation. Right? Go beyond. And that beyond is unconditional devotional service. Unconditional means like, it's not, liberation is, I want to be liberated. But unconditional devotional service is, even if I have to, what to speak of here, even if I have to go to hell, I am prepared to go to hell. And that is unconditional. I don't care what happens to me. I simply care what will please you. Yes?
Does it come automatically with level of advancements?
Yes. Like at the initial stage, we may desire for liberation. Because when one is a neophyte devotee, when one is new, then he may desire, I don't want to be suffering life after life. I want to be free from this cycle of birth and death. But then when he becomes advanced, then his attitude will naturally change. Yes. Yes, Jivananda Prabhu.
If one gets liberated to the Vaikuntha planet, can he advance on to Goloka Vrindavan?
No. I mean, it has been very clearly indicated in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, second part, that from Vaikuntha you cannot go to Vrindavan. From Vaikuntha you can go to Ayodhya, you can go all the way up to Dwarka, as the Gop Kumar did. But from Dwarka he had to come back to the earthly Vrindavan and perform Sankirtan, and then he was eligible to enter into Vrindavan, indicating that, ultimately, like to go, we cannot go to Vrindavan from Vaikuntha. Hare Krishna. Yes? No, beyond that.
I should say that the beginning of...
Can you stand up, please? I can't see you.
The beginning of pure devotional service in the Bhagavad Gita begins with Sarvadharma Paritagya. I was thinking of the verse...
It's leading to pure devotional service.
There is other verses like in chapter 12 where just engage your mind in thinking of me, or just fix your mind on top of me and engage all your intelligence in me, which also seems to indicate pure devotional service.
Yeah, it is.
Significance for that thinking.
It is pure devotional service, but it's more. It is devotional service, but it has a tinge of karma. Because you see, Arjun is being instructed on the basis of Varnashram. Krishna ultimately is telling Arjun that Varnashram, you are a Kshatriya, therefore you have to fight. Right? Krishna is not, and Arjun is accepting that. Of course, no doubt that Arjun is a pure devotee. But the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, the understanding is predominantly based on karma yoga. Therefore, we see that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was discussing with Ramananda Roy, like when we came to karma mishra, karma tyag, that is, he quoted the verse, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected that. Then he quoted Jnana Mishra Bhakti. And he quoted that verse, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, Na Sochati Na Kankshati, Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhakting Lavate Param. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected that. It's only when it came to that point, Jnane Pramar Prayasam Udapasya Namanta Eva, that giving up the desire for Jnana and rendering devotional service unconditionally under the direction of the authorities, pure devotees, giving up all other desires. Jivanti sanmukharitang bhavadiya vartan tanubang manobhi, with body, mind and words. Then that stage is the stage of pure devotional service. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that. So this way we can see that Bhagavad Gita is leading us to the pure devotional service, but Bhagavad Gita is not elaborately explaining the process of pure devotional service. Therefore Prabhupada said Bhagavad Gita is the beginning study, beginning stage. Then Srimad Bhagavatam is the graduation. Right, thank you. Yes?
Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada in the 4th chapter, Prabhupada writes, some of the liberated persons who have achieved these 4 stages of liberation may also develop affection for Krishna and be promoted to Goloka Vrindavan. Prabhupada mentions in the 4th chapter.
Yeah. They may have achieved, but then they will, after that, they will come to pure devotion. Like after that, they will come to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet and be elevated to Vrindavan. On their Vaikuntha platform, they cannot go to Vrindavan. From Vaikuntha, they cannot. They may go to, provided they come across a pure devotee and practice the process.
Prabhupada mentioned that if they develop affection for Krishna.
That means what? Affection for Krishna means rag. And that is raganuga, leading to raganuga bhakti. Vaikuntha, actually, Vaidhi bhakti leads to Vaikuntha. Right? And just Vaidhi bhakti alone cannot lead to Vrindavan. But of course, then there is another consideration. Vaidhi bhakti to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will lead to Vrindavan. But Vaidhi bhakti to Krishna will lead to Vaikuntha. So it has to be from that platform, that 4 kinds of liberation must then have the good fortune of coming across the Sankirtan movement. Be engaged in Sankirtan, and that's how. Now this has been explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That how, anyway, I'll just explain that point. The reason for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is being explained in the 3rd chapter of Adi Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's saying, Jathishti Bihari Krishna, that after performing his Vrindavan pastimes, Krishna considers that I have revealed my Vrindavan pastimes, but how anyone will ever enter into Vrindavan? Because then Krishna is explaining that generally the world, everybody renders devotional service unto me through Vaidhi Bhakti. But practicing Vaidhi Bhakti, one will come to Vaikuntha. And from Vaikuntha one cannot go to Vrindavan. Therefore, Krishna assumed the form of a devotee. Krishna appeared as a devotee. Now that when the devotee Krishna is worshipped with Vaidhi Bhakti, then he becomes eligible to enter into Vrindavan. And what is that devotee? What is that Vaidhi Bhakti to the devotee? Vaidhi Bhakti means devotional service rendered according to the scriptural injunctions. Now tell me, how is that devotee Krishna worshipped according to the injunctions of the scriptures? Jaggai Sankirtana Prayi. Through the Sankirtan Jagga, when this devotee Krishna is worshipped, then one becomes qualified to Vrindavan. Yes.
But we have our internal spiritual identities. So these identities are going to assume that every living entity has a relationship with Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, or some relationships or some spiritual identities are exclusively with
It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say because you see, generally everybody has his own sarup. So, and according to the sarup, when he becomes perfected, he becomes situated. Some are meant to be in Vaikuntha. Some are meant to be in Vaikuntha. But some are meant to be in Vrindavan. But then, some from Vaikuntha can go to Vrindavan by Krishna's mercy. But then what they have to do, they have to come down to the earth planet, become engaged in Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement, and then become eligible to enter into Vrindavan.
Does this mean that the relationship with Krishna changes?
Krishna can make it change. Yeah. An example can be given is Jai Vijay. They were gatekeepers of Vaikuntha. But then they got an entry to Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And by getting entrance to Mahaprabhu's pastimes, one also gets an entry to Vrindavan. So in this way they become related to Krishna. Gita Nagari?
Yeah, you said that each of the four sampradayas are aspiring to the four different types of liberation.
Not each of them. The four sampradayas.
Four sampradayas.
Yeah, not that different sampradayas have different types of affinity for different liberation.
Like, for example, the Ramanuja sampradaya is...
They can have any of the four.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I thought that each...
But the point is that their destination is Vaikuntha.
Okay, I was going to ask you which sampradaya is desiring which liberation, but I guess they're desiring any one of the four.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Atul Krishna Prabhu.
Mahaprabhu is describing to one Narayan Bhakta that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that Lakshmi Devi also couldn't enter Vrindavan.
Right, yeah, right.
Where is that explained in more detail? That story in more details of that?
Okay. Well, immediately what I can think of is Chaitanya Charitamrita. And maybe it's from Brahma Vaivarta Purana. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. Like Lakshmi Devi wanted to enter into Vrindavan. Enter into Krishna's Rasa dance and approach Narayan for that. But Narayan said, if you want to enter into Rasa dance, then you have to just follow one of the gopis of Vrindavan. And Lakshmi Devi said that how is it possible? I cannot be subservient to anybody, I am Lakshmi. Then Narayan said, then forget it. So then Lakshmi Devi performed great austerity, and as a result of that, Krishna came to her and asked, what happened? Why are you performing such severe austerity? Then Lakshmi Devi said, why? that she wanted to enter into rasa dance. Witness the rasa dance. So then Krishna actually placed her in his chest. And that is the Srivatsya. And in that way, Lakshmi Devi got an entrance to rasa dance. Yes?
The verse Anya Vilashita Shunyam, it's talking about Vijnana and basically like in terms of liberation, like free from knowledge leading to liberation. So is that referring to just the monistic liberation, or is it referring to those all the other four kinds of liberation? Is it saying that we're free from all five?
The word liberation actually means freedom. Right? The freedom from material bondage. Right? So you become free. But then your sarup, in a way you can consider that the sarup is rewarded by the Lord, awarded by the Lord. The devotee doesn't pray that give me sarupya or give me shashti. He is not asking for specific liberation. But the Lord is offering, okay, come. Say for example, Dhruva Maharaj. He was not saying, give me this liberation or that liberation. But the chariot came from Vaikuntha to take him. So when he was taken to Vaikuntha, then, whatever his sarup is will be revealed. And the devotee doesn't ask specifically for specific types of liberation, but the desire for liberation is there. That is, I want to go to Vaikuntha and serve the Lord eternally.
But is he saying that we must be free from that desire?
In order to go to Vrindavan. Pure devotional service. Pure devotional service is completely free from even desire for liberation. Right? You get the point? Like there is no tinge of even desire for. So point actually is there is no selfish or personal desire. All the consciousness is entirely projected onto Krishna. And one is completely absorbed in considering Krishna's need, Krishna's necessity, Krishna's pleasure. And no consideration for one's own individual pleasure. Right?
And there's a tinge of desire for liberation, you'll enter Vaikuntha.
Well, the thing is that if you are practicing, it will also depend what the parampara is. Like you are in a specific parampara, right? That is Gaudiya Vaishnava parampara. And in this parampara, the parampara is actually saying, na dhanam na janam na sundarim. The parampara is saying, ashli shobha padaratam. So that mood you will automatically develop as you are following the process. That mood, the parampara will set the mood. The disciplic succession is setting the mood. And the disciplic succession will lead you there. Like even if you go to Vaikuntha, you will not be satisfied. You'll say, well, in Vaikuntha there is no ISKCON. So I don't want to be here. Where is ISKCON? Or you'll try to make an ISKCON in Vaikuntha. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will say, well done. Come to Navadvip.
It was it is said that spiritual master is transferred via media from the Lord, and also some devotee they tell that I don't know Krishna, who is Krishna, and I know only service to my spiritual master, like Lal Maharaj is saying, many advanced devotees say. So like the object of service is ultimately Krishna, and the spiritual master is via media, or like. So how the relationship with the spiritual master and the Lord grows?
See, the disciple is developing certain attitude towards the spiritual master, as we mentioned. But the spiritual master is acting in a certain way. that will guide the disciple to develop his relationship with Krishna. Because he's the via medium. Like say for example, you want to buy a product of Sony. Now you don't know Sony, but you know the shopkeeper, right? Who is an agent of Sony. So you go to the shopkeeper and tell him that, look, this is what I want. Now you are dealing only with the shopkeeper, but what does the shopkeeper deliver you? He delivers you the product. So the specific guru in the sampradaya, the disciple may approach him with certain attitude, but his business is to deliver the goods. And what is the goods? What is the sampradaya is carrying? Right? Okay, I'll give a little break now. Okay.
Sometimes there is a direct attraction for Krishna, sometimes like good spiritual master.
That's a neophyte attraction. Direct attraction, you consider what is the... do you know the definition of neophyte devotee? Definition of neophyte devotee is Ishware tad adhineshu balisheshu dvisatsucha premo maitri kripa upekha ja karut. I'm sorry. Ishware tad adhineshu... No, I'm sorry. Achayam eva harai pujanja shraddhaye hate natad bhakti shuchaneshu shabhakta prakrita smita. He's worshipping Achayam Hari. He's worshipping Hari. Pujanja shraddhaye hate. With great faith and devotion. But do not recognize, natad bhakti shuchaneshu. Does not recognize his devotees. Krishna's devotees. He is considered to be a neophyte. Prakrita smitaha. But the second class is, he recognizes Krishna, he worships Krishna. And Ishwari, Tadadhineshu, he recognizes devotees, he recognizes the innocent ones, Balisheshu, Dvisatsucha, he recognizes also the offenders. And accordingly he has prema, love for Krishna, he has friendship to the devotees, he has compassion for the innocent, and he has disregard for the offenders. So he is a Madhyamadikara. I'm just making the final point. And who is a pure devotee, first class devotee? Sarva bhuteshu japashyat bhagavad bhavam atmana. He is seeing that everybody else is a devotee. Only he himself couldn't become a devotee. You see the difference? At first, he thought Krishna is God and he is the only devotee. And now he is thinking that everybody else is a devotee, only he himself couldn't become a devotee. So, the point is, when one is at a neophyte stage, he thinks that Krishna is God and he worships Krishna and doesn't recognize his devotees. But at the ultimate stage, he recognizes that everybody else has become a devotee, only he himself couldn't become a devotee. Not recognizes, he feels that way.
And then when spontaneous devotion is there, when somebody has spontaneous attraction for the Lord. So it directly, how that thing is there? Suppose devotee like Mayapur is there or Hanmanas, but that is like, so how to explain that?
You see, like ultimately it's a matter of how much we are recognizing Krishna, how much we are feeling the supreme aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then accordingly we develop our attraction for Him. At first, because of our conditioning, we don't have any attraction for Krishna, because we have become conditioned by our senses, by our body. We cannot go beyond that. We are simply caught up with our senses and the objects of the senses and trying to exploit those objects of the senses. That is the material state of existence. Then we come across a devotee and get to know about the process of devotion. Intellectually we understand the importance of practicing the process, but our conditioning is not yet free. Then as we start practicing the process, we get to know Krishna more and more and more through Shravanam and Kirtanam. Right? Now as we develop our awareness of Krishna, accordingly we will become attracted to Krishna. So this attraction will lead to that spontaneous devotion. Initially it is devotional service in practice. But then comes the stage of spontaneous. Like you practiced and the practice leads you to the spontaneous state. Right? Like an example can be given, like say when you learn to ride a bicycle. That I don't know whether you experienced that. I had the experience. Like there used to be two other wheels on the side, right? And you are riding, you are not balancing. Like when you are going off balance, those wheels are actually giving you the support. And you're practicing, and then all of a sudden, you don't need those two wheels anymore. You are just riding on those, the rear wheel and the front wheel. Right? So, devotional service will lead to that. Practicing the devotional service will eventually make us balance on our own by developing our attraction for Krishna. That will be the spontaneous stage of devotional service. But then that will lead to the prema bhakti or loving devotional service.
Spiritual master aspect is still there.
The spiritual master is the one who is helping you to ride the bicycle. He is teaching you, he is helping you to sit on the bicycle. He is holding it and carrying you on the bicycle at first and telling you how to paddle the cycle, right? And then he is letting you go. And sometimes you fall. Then he comes and picks you up. Don't lose heart. Carry on. So that is the spiritual master. He is teaching you how to become a devotee. So I'll give a break now for 10 minutes. And then we'll go to the second session. I saw quite a few hands were still up. Okay, so you read them, so I'll just go point by point. Now, how many types of liberations are there? How many of you know? All of you know how many types of liberations are there. And what is the attitude of a devotee towards those liberations? How many of you know? Please raise your hands. Okay, what's the attitude of a devotee towards the...
He does not seek any of those.
Yeah, even if it is offered to him, he doesn't want to take it. If those liberation, if that state was devoid of devotional service. Diyamanam na grinhanti bina mat sevanam jana. If it is with devotional service, then he will take it. But otherwise, he won't take it. Now, do you remember the states? There are 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. What happens when one takes to pure devotional service? There are 6 natural consequences. So all of you know that. Is there anyone who do not know that? Okay. So maybe you can tell me what's the first one? All the miseries are relief from all kinds of material distress. Okay. Beginning of all auspiciousness. Right. And the third one?
When it's situated in transcendental love.
Yeah. Transcendental, he experiences transcendental pleasure. Right. And the fourth?
It's rarely achieved.
Very good. Pure devotional service is very rare. Fifth?
It minimizes the importance of liberation.
Yeah, very good. That means a devotee doesn't even care for liberation. And the sixth? Yeah, it attracts Krishna. Now, at the beginning of the class, I was mentioning that today we are going to cover, in this section, in Bhakti Shastri course, we'll cover only first two. You know why the first two? Because those, yes. Why those first?
In sadhana bhakti,
Very good. In the stage of sadhana bhakti, these two are experienced. In bhava bhakti, the next two are experienced. And in prema bhakti, the final two, or all six are experienced. Yes?
So the question in regards to answering our assignments, Maharaj, that the Sanskrit terms we have to, because they're not really mentioned in this book.
Which one?
If I can respond to that, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Those terms are given in the student handbook.
Okay. So, relief from material distress. So, did everybody understand how devotional service relieves one from all material distress? Did everybody understand? What I actually mean, what Prabhupada wrote, did you read carefully? Very good. Then, how many types of sinful reactions are there? Initially there are 2 types, and then they are further classified into 4. What are those 2 types?
Mature and unmature.
Mature sinful reactions and immature sinful reactions. And then there are 4 types. What are those 4 types? Kutam, Bijam, Phalan, Mukham, 3, and then Aprarabdha. So that Aprarabdha has been, we have to remember that Aprarabdha is the first one. The things that hasn't been fructified, hasn't been mature. But those who have been mature, then it is leading to lying as seed, effects which are almost mature. No, I made a mistake here. I'm sorry. Like the 4th one is actually Prarabdha. 4th one is not Aprarabdha, but Prarabdha. Yeah, 4th is Prarabdha. So, you have studied all. And then the first stage, the 2nd chapter, we'll just cover only the beginning of it. Or maybe we can leave it for the next one, because we didn't ask you to study it. So the next is, you study carefully the 2nd chapter, the entire 2nd chapter. And anyway, since I mentioned it, why did we want to study to discuss this first page of the first stage of devotion is because it is speaking about 3 types of devotion, which I'm sure you already know. What are the 3 types of devotion? 3 stages of devotion, not 3 types, but 3 stages of devotion. First is, sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and then prema bhakti. So this is what we had briefly. We'll discuss tomorrow the 2nd chapter. 2nd chapter is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Atul Krishna. Today is the 3rd day, yeah? 3rd day. So I have only 2 more days. So if I do the second chapter tomorrow, okay, so we'll try to do second and third tomorrow. Right, that's what we planned actually. Second and third we'll do tomorrow. So you study second and third carefully beforehand, before the class tomorrow. And then the day after we'll do the fifth chapter. So that is our module for this week. Yes? Okay, now you're opening up question answers.
In that it is written that if one starts taking up devotional service, all the reason of simple life is vanquished. And before that also Kesit Kevalya Bhakta Prabhupada writes in purport that just with little glimpse of devotional service, all the reasons are burned away. So what is that little glimpse of devotional service exactly like?
That is, if we consider the holy name, chanting of the holy name is chanted in 3 stages. Right? One is the offensive chanting, the clearing chanting, and then pure chanting. So in the clearing stage of chanting, all the sinful reactions are washed away. Right? That means that if you chant one holy name of the Lord, in the clearing stage itself, it will wipe out all the sinful reactions. Just as it has been mentioned by Haridas Thakur, Koti janme brahmo gyane jei mukti noy, shudhumatra namabhashe shei mukti hoy. The liberation that is not achieved in millions of lifetimes of Brahman realization, just in the stage of namabhash, the clearing stage of chanting the name, that liberation is achieved. Liberation means freedom from all sinful reactions. Because if you have some sinful reactions left, you cannot be liberated. So this is how powerful the holy name is, that just the side effect of the holy name gives us liberation.
That time desire for sinful activity will still be there, or desire will also go away?
Desire will go away. Desire will go away. That, you see, that abhash, that a glimpse of the spiritual reality is so attractive that you won't have any kind of attraction for any material thing. Like say, if you have a plate of not so nice food, but because you are hungry, it's rotten and not so nice. Because you are hungry, you are forced to eat it. You are eating that because you don't know anything better. But then somebody comes with a delicious plate of Mahaprasad. What will you do? Will you look at that other plate at all? Because the taste of the Mahaprasad, just the sight of it, will make you, throw that other plate away. Yes?
I want to know, Maharaj, that soul is coming from spiritual world to material world. That time no seed was there, sinful seed was not there. And at what point that seed is coming?
Yeah, good point. You see, we can look at it this way. This is from Prema Vivarta by Jagadananda Pandit, the associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is pointing out that somehow a living entity looks away from Krishna. Krishna bohir mukh hoiya bhogobancha kare. Just somehow or other he just looks at. Now a living entity is minute. His consciousness, since he is minute, his consciousness is like a ray of light. Right? His consciousness can be compared to a ray of light. So to how many points you can project one ray of light? Only at one point. So it has only 2 options. Either towards Krishna or away from Krishna. Right? And the moment it turns his face away from Krishna, then what does he see? Away from Krishna is what? There's only two things, Krishna and Krishna's external energy. Looking away from Krishna means looking at Krishna's external energy. Right? Now the external energy is inferior, whereas the living entity is superior. Now as soon as the superior comes across an inferior, what happens? He develops a tendency to exploit. Right? Now exploiting tendency means lording over. So see how his identity is changing? Just because he looked away from Krishna, his identity changed now from a servant to the master. And that identity, like that of a master, is the false ego. He gets covered by false ego and thinks that he is the master. And then he gets the next covering, the second covering of intelligence. And he begins to consider how he is going to enjoy this material nature. Then he gets the third covering of the mind, through which his consciousness now is constantly being projected onto the material nature. So in this way, with false ego, intelligence and mind, he gets his subtle body through these three coverings. And then accordingly the nature awards him with a gross body. So this is how a living entity gets entangled in the material nature. So as you are asking, where is the seed? The seed is just on turning away from Krishna. Right? Turning his face away from Krishna. The Sanskrit word, or even is used in Bengali also. Bohir mukh means what? Bohi means outside, mukh means face. When the face is looking away, all the trouble actually began. Now the question is, how to counter that? The way to counter that is look towards Krishna. Therefore Rupa Goswami is saying, always remember Krishna and never forget. And Krishna is saying, man mana bhavu, man mana bhavu. With your mind you just think of me and don't think of anything else. So that is the way to turn our face back to Krishna. Yes.
Maharaj, you said that devotional service, in the first chapter you said that devotional service is so powerful that it can uproot the desire that is not yet manifested. So my question is that how long does it take? Because you said that the holy name is so powerful that, but just by chanting, the more offenses you can commit, you can do so more than that. So we're saying you're chanting for so long, and yet this envy, greed is not going. How long are we supposed to do that?
As long as it takes you to develop your attachment to Krishna.
You can just be like that?
It's up to you. The choice is yours. Yeah, it can take many lifetimes, or it can even take a second. Fraction of a second. And, for that matter, it has happened. Otherwise, look at yourself, like you gave up your attachment to material enjoyment and you have committed yourself to Krishna consciousness. So you must have got some taste. You must have developed some attraction for Krishna, otherwise how could you do that? So it has already happened, don't worry.
One question that expressed in two ways is how what is the best method for relieving oneself from envy, or is it the actual opposite of envy?
No, come again, I couldn't get that.
Often Maharaj would say that of all the six,
Okay, envy is the worst.
envy is the worst.
Yeah.
And so then, what is the best method to cut down this?
Okay. Yeah. The best method, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, is to become situated in the mode of goodness. Bhagavatam is saying, Tada rajas tamo bhava kamo lobho dayascha je cheto etoir anaviddham sthitam satya prasidati. As long as we are in the mode of ignorance and passion, we will develop these tendencies of lust, greed, anger, illusion, pride, envy. But when one becomes situated in the mode of goodness, then he is not affected by that. Now how can we become situated in the mode of goodness? Through Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness will not only situate us in the mode of goodness, it will take us to the transcendental goodness, pure goodness.
Then even in practice, Krishna consciousness, one may develop little envy for devotees.
That will come and go. That will go away. Because, although you're... Okay, let's put it this way. Were you more envious before? Or you have become more envious now?
Well, before, I may not even see it as envy, but now it is...
Because before you were so much in ignorance that you didn't even know what envy was. But now at least you have become aware of it, right? So is it getting better?
Because I'm trying.
That you are trying, isn't that a very good symptom? Very good indication? So, the practice will make you perfect. So just stay on, carry on. It'll happen. Heart will become pure. Cheto etoir anaviddham. Evam prasanna manaso bhaktijo bhagavad bhaktijo gata. Viddate hridaya granthi chiddante sarva samsaya. It will happen. All the knots in the hearts will be cut asunder. Yes. No, you. Yeah.
But if a soul, when it surrenders to Krishna consciousness, and after a period of time is sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness, gets initiated, and if unfortunately then he goes again back to Maya, and again it starts with sinful activities, then what will be the situation?
He'll suffer for a while and then come back again.
Then what about his sins committed after surrender? Maybe he's committing sin.
Yeah. Well, once he begins, then be washed away again. But the better not to go away from Krishna consciousness. Why take a chance? He'll come back, but when? That's the question. Whether it'll be in this lifetime or another 25,000 lifetimes. So why take a chance? Now that you have found the right path, why should you deviate from the path? Just stay on in this path. Never deviate. Yeah.
Technically, is possible to fall from Namavas to Namaparas?
Technically, is it possible to?
It happens. To come to be in Namavas and then go again to Namaparas?
It can. You see, at a neophyte stage, at an unsteady stage, that is anishtita bhakti, the stage of unsteady devotion, it fluctuates. Sometimes he is here, sometimes he is there, like that. Unsteady means he hasn't become fixed. But when one is fixed up, then the chances for his falling down is very little. And the more he advances, the chances become more and more reduced. But then when he achieves the prema stage, from that stage one cannot fall down. One runs the risk of falling down even from the platform of bhava. Like Prabhupada is pointing out, Bharat Maharaj was in the platform of bhava stage. But from that stage he fell down. But of course we have to understand that was Krishna's divine arrangement to kind of make him into a pure devotee. Just by giving him one birth of a deer, all his Karmic reactions are washed out. Yes.
Maharaj, if someone is suffering due to bad health, or he gets a bad accident, is it because of sinful reaction this lifetime or last lifetime?
It will be difficult to say. You see, it's a reaction, but when that reaction is generated, is very difficult to identify. It can be from this lifetime, or can be from zillions of lifetimes before. Yes.
I have one question about this. Four kinds of effects due to sinful activities.
Yeah.
It's not very clear to me. Especially the one when they say which is already mature. Because what is it is those which are almost mature is something which they are already undergoing. So when they say already mature, does it mean they have already passed those effects, or not very clear?
Yeah, that is, previous to that we discussed that there are two types of effects. I mean, two types of sinful reactions. Prarabdha and aprarabdha. Prarabdha is which has become mature, just about to develop the result. And aprarabdha is that which is totally immature.
These are all, we can say these are prarabdha?
No. One is prarabdha and the others are aprarabdha. Kutang, vijang, phalan, mukham. Kutang means, they are completely in, like the way the effect which is not yet Kutang is you see, like it is practically covered. You can't really identify it. Then it has become like a seed. And then the seed has sprouted into a seedling. And then it is just about to fructify. You get it?
Fructification is the last.
Fructification is the last.
And then what do you mean already mature? Is it something similar to fructification?
The effect which is almost mature,
Already mature also will be. Already mature and almost mature.
So the already mature will be the stage before that. I mean, after that. Like, which is almost mature and already, like almost mature. And already mature means it is mature.
So we will be undergoing those.
Right, yeah.
So now one more in relation to this is, when a person takes initiation from a spiritual master, which of these he still continues to bear and which ones does the spiritual master take unto him, and are there any which are held in abeyance also?
No, say it again, I couldn't get that.
Out of these four, when a person takes initiation, which are the ones which are transferred to the spiritual master and which are the ones which still relate to him?
Good question. That transfer will depend upon the surrender. To the extent you surrender, to that extent you'll be free from your sinful reactions.
This Kutang is a propensity for desire, desire, sinful desire.
Not propensity. Kutang is very dormant, in a dormant stage, complete dormant stage. Like there are so many sinful reactions. Like you can consider it's something like, there's a water and the bubbles are coming out, right? At the beginning, there is one layer where there is no bubble at all. Then there is a tiny little minute bubble comes up, right, at the base. And then it is rising up. As it's rising up, it's growing bigger. And then finally it comes to the surface, pop. Right? Or a tree, like the tree is there is first it comes as a seed. Then the seed, if the seed is completely covered by the soil, then the chances of its becoming into a seedling is very little. Right? Now, there is some cultivation, and as a result of that, the seed comes onto the upper region of the soil. And then it gets water. Then getting the water, the seed becomes a seedling, right? And when it becomes a seedling, it pops out of the surface. And then it grows, and then it bears fruits. So, prarabdha is that fruition stage of the sinful reaction.
Maharaj, previously I heard that this verse, Anya Abhilashita Shunya. So here, Abhilashi is not being told because pure devotee may ask something for his protection. So is it correct? Can you comment on this?
No, a pure devotee will not even ask for his protection as such. Right? Like, that is the meaning of Anna Bhilashita Shunnam. And even if he asks for protection, then he won't ask for protection for himself, but he'll ask for protection so that he can execute the devotional service properly. So all his desires will be centered around his devotional service. That is the meaning of the word Anna Bhilashita Shunnam. Yes?
Right here it says that even if he is born in the family of dog eaters, one who is performing the ninefold devotional service, even if he is born in a family of dog eaters. So the first part of the question is, if somebody is performing devotional service, why would he be born in a family of dog eaters?
No, he may be born for whatever reason. But the point actually here is that the dog eater is the lowest kind of mankind. Lowest class of mankind. So, even,
It's figurative, or it's literal.
Literal. The Chandal, you see, human society has been classified. Topmost is Brahmana, right? And there are other levels. The lowest level of mankind is a Chandal. So the point is that even a Chandal gets an opportunity to practice this ninefold devotional service. He becomes superior to a Brahmana. So that is the point. Like point is, devotional service is so powerful that even the lowest kind of man, which means he's a very, very sinful person, even a most sinful person can become free from all his sinful reactions. Yes, Gitanagari.
In Shastra it says that when a person begins to practice devotional service very seriously, sometimes Krishna takes everything away from him and does many things that are not so nice, so that he will surrender more. So how do we know when Krishna is doing something to us, or when we're just suffering because we've been sinful dogs in the past?
Yeah, only when we become free from our false ego, we'll be able to. Because as long as we have our false ego, we are not going to recognize that whatever is happening to us is due to Krishna. For example, like Prakrite Kriyamanani Gunai Karmani Sarvasa. Everything is happening by Guna and Karma. Who made this arrangement of Guna Karma? Krishna. But Ahankaro Bimuratma. Being bewildered by his false ego, he is thinking that he is the doer. And when good things happen, he wants to take the credit, and when bad things happen, he blames Krishna. Right? But for a devotee, when he has become free from his false ego, he sees that everything is happening by the divine arrangement of Krishna in order to situate him properly in the pure devotional platform. So at that stage, his attitude is, if everything is taken away from me, is Krishna's mercy. Those attachments were causing me an impediment to my devotional service. What a relief. My wife is gone, my children rejected me, my friends have swindled me of my bank balance. So today I am standing here all by myself, without any possession, without any shelter. So what does it mean? Now I am being forced to completely surrender unto Krishna and depend upon Krishna. And does Krishna take care? Then yes, Krishna will take care. So why should I worry? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So he'll start chanting and dancing in ecstasy. Yes?
I was hearing speaker in the first chapter. He is suffering in the present life the results of sinful activities from his past life. So my question is that what type of person is it that who is sinful but he is still getting a human life again? Is it a devotee who has come to sin or a non-devotee?
Well, by the nature's arrangement, one gets the human form of life, and at that time only, he has the choice to whether to surrender to Krishna or continue on his own. Right? If he decides to continue on his own, then he is missing that opportunity. Right? But his sinful reactions and all are there. Like no living entity, unless he is an eternal associate of the Lord, is free from sinful reactions. Everyone, and it is not just one lifetime. Living entities have been in this material nature for unlimited number of lifetimes.
But then, Maharaj, actually he is suffering from past life, so that means in past life he was a human being. And again this life also...
No, he could have been an animal and there could have been the karmic reaction.
Then animals, do they have karmic reaction or?
They can, like say for example, a man killed a cow. What is the understanding? In the next life the cow will get the human body. Right? So previous life he was a cow, and because he had been killed by a man, he got this human form of life.
And the other man will also get human form?
The other man will get the form of a cow and be killed by that cow.
So it's not necessary that sinful person will go to hell. He may even come back as human being.
He goes to hell to get prepared for another body, and then he comes back.
Right, in context to Gita Nagari Prabhu's question, which of the two is a better attitude for a devotee? That I am suffering because of the sinful reactions of my own activities, or to see it as this is all Krishna's mercy? Or do they both represent the same idea? Which is the true better?
Yeah, to see that it is Krishna's divine arrangement to make me into a better devotee. That's a better attitude.
Initially, when you were telling that it's good to take to devotional service, like one can have the desire for liberation. Prabhupada used to say that go back to God, this very life. So cultivation of devotional service to go back to Godhead. And then for that to mature into pure devotional service, it happens by practice, or we have to cultivate that desire.
What's the difference between practice and cultivation? It's the same thing.
Means doing devotional service to be free from the life, the cycle of birth and death. But then the desire that whatever may happen, I will just serve the Lord, that pure devotion.
Yeah, okay.
So that attainment of that consciousness, means artificially one cannot have that. So that happens by...
naturally. At a certain advanced stage only one can feel that way. It's obviously it's an indication of high level of advancement. Yes, Atul Krishna Prabhu.
Maharaj, at the end of the chapter, Prabhupada writes that devotional service is greater than God because it attacks Him.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on that?
Do you want me to? Because you skipped that in your course.
At the end of this chapter.
Yeah, okay. Like, I thought, you mentioned that, but you did not you didn't, in the syllabus, you didn't put the elaboration is only first two, Kleshagni and Shubhada. Anyway, I thought you skipped that because that was in the most advanced stage. Like, Chandrananda Visheshatma, Krishna Karshanicha, these two are synonymous to Prema Bhakti. Yeah, thank you. You see, pure devotion is so wonderful that even Krishna becomes attracted to it. And Krishna becomes attracted to it because, you see, devotion literally means love affair. So as the devotee to begin with, Krishna already loves us. Krishna loves everyone. But not that everyone is responding to that love. And as a result of that love affair is incomplete. It's something like, you see, a young boy is deeply in love with a young girl. And the girl doesn't care for him. How does he feel? Let us consider, like, this is the natural traits of love affair. Like, when somebody doesn't respond to the love, the lover becomes heartbroken. But then one day, that girl sends a note. I love you. How does the boy feel? Right? So similarly, Krishna loves us, but we don't love him. We don't respond to that love. So Krishna is feeling heartbroken. Krishna is sad. Krishna is feeling so bad. Now one day we respond to him just by saying, Krishna, I love you. Then that loving relationship begins, and how does Krishna feel at that time? He feels ecstatic. Now what caused Krishna to become attracted? It is that love. And that is pure devotion. Like when we develop our pure devotion for Krishna, then Krishna becomes so happy that he just comes running to embrace us, embraces devotee. So that's why this prem, you see, these are the two aspects of love, two natural developments of love. One aspect of love is it offers joy. Both lover and beloved become submerged in an ocean of joy due to that loving relationship. And this love attracts the other. So Krishna, who is all attractive, now becomes attracted to the devotee because of this love. And that's why the prem stage is Krishna Karshani. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're so small compared to God. If you look at God's power, what He's doing and what we can do, we're so tiny compared to God. So how does our little bit of love attract God? Because He's so great.
That's the thing about love. It works in an amazing way without any rhyme or reason. Don't we find a very big man fell in love with a very insignificant woman? Or don't you also find a princess fell in love with a pauper? Now, when they fall in love, do they reason? Do they care? Oh, I am a princess and he is a pauper? No. His love works in such an amazing way that a princess becomes attracted to a pauper. Okay, last question. So really, yeah.
I've heard from the senior devotee that like two attitudes are there of seeing the things happening in our life. Either seeing it as Krishna's arrangement, that way we may develop more love for Lord. At the same time, if we see that as our sinful reaction, that makes us a little more humble. So I've heard from some devotees that it's safer to think that...
So develop both the attitudes. See it in both ways. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So you remember, second chapter and third chapter. You read carefully and I'll see